Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on all platforms. Let's rock and roll because Palantir is one of my AI stocks. It's one I like very much, but I still, uh, just being the position I am in, I have to call it a speculative play. It is still very new, still in its infancy stage. So while be it something I like very much, it's also not something I have the allocation towards, like I have Tesla or Meta, by example. So don't get too crazy about it when I say it's a speculative play, but it is one that is cheap to buy with a lot of risk and growth. So with that, they go hand in hand. You're not just gonna get all the growth without the risk. So let's talk about it. So they're reporting their earnings tomorrow. So first quarter of 2024 after the close tomorrow, Monday the 6th. So to go over some points real quick, some expectations, analysts. Let's pull it up over here real quick so we can just get that as a sweet little background. Palantir, we will go over the expected moves on everything as well, Palantir and the rest of the big ones I normally do. So earnings analysts, they're expected 3 cents earnings per share. The range is 2 to 4, so obviously your average. You can check it on the calculator. Should be 3 cents per share. Their previous earnings, it was on February 5th. Palantir reported 3 cents per share, which missed the estimate of 4 cents. The revenue for last quarter was $608.35 million, which is actually a little bit above the $603.4 million. So looking forward, earnings, they're expected to grow significantly in the coming year with a forecasted increase from 16 cents to 21 cents per share. And their call will be tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Their expected move for the week. Let me grab that really quick. Weekly expected moves. Let me just open that up. $3.33. So let's actually get that back up here. Actually, let me update all these real quick. IWM 382. That way, this indicator, if you guys have my charts, it'll be on there. Everyone else, well, you know what to do. SPY 630. Tesla 966. A lot of these have dropped down. Meta 1467. If you guys don't know what these moves are, this is what market makers are pricing in. This is how they hedge your bet. Not take your money. They usually just end up taking your money because you make bad decisions, not because they're out to get you. But to understand that, you'd have to understand the options world and how things actually work, which we can go over. If you're ever in the live stream, just jump in, start asking questions. Just remember, I don't know what you guys want answered without you asking. Palantir 3.33, Intel 1.01. Last but not least, AMD 659. All right, so quite the move. That's going to put us just shy of $27, all the way down to. Right, yeah, okay, so $20. All right, so I like buying Palantir anywhere close to this red line for now. Now, if you guys are following the growth play, the growth account, sorry, then I don't have any sold calls on this in case it does shoot up. And I've been debating back and forth, how do I want to play this earnings? Now, just because there's earnings doesn't mean you have to play it. This does suck a lot of people in, and they lose a lot of money because of this. Remember, there's going to be an announcement tomorrow. Regardless of whatever that announcement is, there's going to be a reaction, up or down. It could be a little bit up and down, and it ends nowhere. And then everybody on the board. That's when the casino just wipes the chips. So if you're an option seller, that's your best case scenario. If you're going to go long options, calls or puts, then you obviously want it to explode. But if it goes just a little bit in either direction, let's say it's a good earnings, pops it right there to 25. Anybody bought the 25 calls probably just got smoked. Same thing to the downside. Let's say it's a mediocre, doesn't get past this yellow zone. Anybody who bought 21 puts, gone. So Vega Crush is going to destroy those. What I am thinking, though, in the growth account is I'm probably going to buy some more shares tomorrow, but I'm also thinking I actually might buy a 21 strike put for this Friday. just to hedge it if it does, because we did really well on Palantir. Remember, we bought it here at 18, we sold it at 23. We did a bunch of contracts along the way. We had left it out for earnings, so it shot up, and then we'd sold the 23 strike call. After that, it just continued to go up. We let the shares go away because I said we'll just get cheaper. We are back in, and we had sold some calls against it, so we've made a ton of money on Palantir already. I just, if I was going to sell a call on Palantir this week, it would probably have to be the 27s. Let's get that up here real quick. Let's see what the 27s. So, gosh, that's tempting. That is tempting. So we'd collect an extra $48 right now. We're usually, the deltas are in the teens. Is usually where I like to sell. That's the 28s. Oh, man. It's too tempting not to do that. If it explodes to 40, that's going to suck. Let's see what the 30s are. Okay, you know what? For now, tomorrow, I just might sell. So watch out for that alert. I'm still 50-50 on it right now, but I might collect the extra $14. $14 per 100 shares. So why? I like free internet money. My account is full of that. 30 puts us. So we have to blast through two zones. That's right there at two standard deviations. Okay, actually like 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell the 30. We'll collect $14 there. And then I will. How much is the 21 put? $66. I like that just in case it does explode to the downside. Deltas are 24. So essentially the deltas are how many shares you control. So it's essentially almost going short 24 shares, but only paying $66 for it. And if it does explode to the south side and we get to that 19, that surprise down, right? And it goes to 19 or 18, this will hop up quite a bit and we'll just grab a few more shares at a discounted rate because that would push us right down here to this zone. And I think that would just be amazing. And I absolutely hate when other like YouTubers say like, oh, if it goes down, I'll be excited. No one likes watching their money go down. Stop being stupid. But if it does go down, that is my buy it now price, rain or shine event. Like I'm buying it there, whether it's a win or loss. There will be a buy purchase there and another YouTube video talking about how much money I made or how much I'm down. If it does get to that. In my main account, I will have a limit order set for 19 because earnings, you watch it kind of just bounce all over the place. And I do like to just bottom fish. So I'll put a limit order out there. I'll try to buy a few hundred shares at $19. If it fills, it fills. If not, whatever. But I'm buying it there regardless. Growth account, I'm fairly certain I'm going to be selling the 30s. 30 shouldn't put us out of management territory. So if it does, if it explodes to 29, we still collected the $14 and all the growth all the way up to there. We're still good. There's still quite a bit of money we can collect just off of that. So the idea it's going to just explode to $40 could happen. Not likely, the very, very small chance. So that will be the numbers we play. And it's just the same thing again. Like, and anyway, what I'm doing is still being the slot machine, not the person at the slot machine. Everybody knows a slot machine pays out the jackpot every now and then, right? But the slot machines don't lose money. So if it does shoot up to there and I sell my shares at $30 a share, I collected $14 to sell my shares at 30 with an average cost down here. I still win on every spectrum. At that point, I'd wait for a base out, and we'd start to get back in again. Okay, so we've kind of covered everything we're looking for. 3 cents. They come out and do 4 cents. It's going to get nuts. Man, and if I had to if we're throwing darts, by the way, because my opinion right now is no more right than whatever you are, even if this is your first day. Gun to my head, I would say we have to. I bet it would turn out a lot like Amazon's earnings. So Amazon had earnings, and it did that. A little bit up, down, bounced off the expected move like we drew, and held right there. I kind of expect that to happen with Palantir, but if it just does head south or anything like that, I do want to be prepared for that. And in the growth account, there's just a lot of movement and money, because right now that is our biggest position right now. It's also our moneymaker. So kind of want to take advantage of all sides. Getting onto the market right here. You guys know I've been short the dollar. This is the dollar. I told you guys, so I've been short the dollar from here to here. And in fact, I was short the dollar earlier back here, and I thought, so I'm short the US dollar, Japanese yen. It's at historic levels. And as soon as I told my group, like, hey, we're getting to the point where I'm about to stop out of this trade right here, it does turn on a dime, head south, which has been absolutely amazing. But other than that, what I don't want to do is still be short and just rock a higher low. And right now, it's kind of what it looks like until we are to continue down. So right now, I'm still short. So everything's still looking good. All stops are in the green now. But this might be the time where I do have to manage things. So I need the US dollar, Japanese yen to absolutely reject and break down out of that. And we'll be, and by we, I mean I'll be good. So just know that if this is down here next week, I'm going to talk about how much money I made. If it's up here, I'm going to talk about how I stopped out and I'm no longer short. But if that is the case, this still remains my number one on my watch list. I think this is going to be a very, very big trade. Now I've been on the weekly and monthly time frame. Green is these colors to my zones do have a meaning, right? Yellow's 4-hour daily, purple or pinkish color, that's weekly. Green is monthly. I think for the longest time, Bitcoin was the only one. But last time we were here was 1990. So just economy-wise and everything, there's a lot of issues with it being this high. So I do want to take full advantage. And if it were to go from here to here, that is still $1 million trade. But even getting back down to this mid-level, this 109 level is going to probably produce just as much. So I'm still very excited for this. But for those of you guys that have been following along, it has been, I went short here, right? Made a little bit. Oh, no, it's right here. Sorry. I forgot I'm on the weekly. Short here, banging. Now I started to lock in a little bit right here, pop back up, and I've been fighting this trend. And then last week, I said I'm getting aggressive with it because we drop out over here. And when I add on to a position, something you guys need to consider, I don't just add on for the sake of it. And I'm not gonna have 1,000 shares up and 5,000 shares down. And Forex, we don't do shares anyway. But that's why I got aggressive, and that's actually how I'm able to have stops in the green just off of that red week. But that being said, it's been a colossal waste of. It's been a lot of time in that trade just watching it be red for a while. All right. As far as Bitcoin goes, you guys know how I'm petty sometimes. I told somebody posted an article talking about how Bitcoin could drop to 50,000. Coincidence or not that I start talking about that and then the big banks start saying it, how many times you got to say that before you think how many of those banks are subscribed to me? Just saying. Anyway, I even said, I didn't read the article. I agree with the headlines. I'm buying more at 50,000. He said, good luck. He can't wait to count his receipts when it's way higher. And at this point, I have now made it my personal mission to talk to all the whales. I'm going to sell all your Bitcoin. I'm going to talk to Elon too. Sell it all. We'll buy it back at 50, just so I can go back on Facebook and say, anyway, bought more. I don't know why that bugs me. When someone just tells you good luck, like nothing triggers a competitive person more than that. Oh yeah, watch this. I will play market maker. That being said, nothing's actually changed as far as Bitcoin goes. Ultimately, that is a pretty big bull flag pattern. Breaking this yellow zone right here, and we do, I think, hop right on down to there. And that's where I'll buy more. And in case you're a crypto nerd, right, simmer down. Okay, you're probably fuming. You probably have half a paragraph typed just in the time for me saying this. I buy Bitcoin and Ethereum every week. I don't actually trade it. But I have areas of where I'm going to add on more outside of just my weekly buy. And that's where it's at. So if it shoots up, I still make a bunch of money. Still a good position. I do think the markets are a bit overbought. So over the weekend, I did go short. I actually went short the S&P and Snapchat. So what I'm kind of thinking right now is a little overbought. And honestly, a pull back into that zone. Like for the Russell, checking that zone. I'm not looking for an absolute meltdown or anything like that. Ultimately, this could be seen as a pretty decent. Let me get my camera up, make sure I can see what you guys. There we go. Make sure my head wasn't in the way. That's a pretty big bear flag. If you just Google bear flag, bearish pattern, you'll see exactly this. So checking that zone right there would still be a higher low for the bulls. But in case we melt down or anything like that, and I'm not in this particular one, but that's what I'm thinking. Just a little bit red. Not the melt mode, not the sky is falling. Let's get our expected moves updated. Not really expecting much. Yeah, a pretty chill week, I think. We'll pull up the I'll pull up the news, see what kind of manipulation we got going on this week. That is my alert right here to go short the NQ. Which I'm gonna do. Gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go short the NQ right now. I just need to move this. Can this just move? There we go. I just need to grab that dot. You know what? Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna go short here in 1 second, and I'm gonna, when that alert goes, if it goes off during the stream, I'm gonna put my stop in the green, just because it's gonna be an overnight play, and then I'm gonna let it go. One second. All right, and man, come on, there we go. All right, M contract. All right, 1824.50. The numbers are a little bit off. That is my fill. When that alert goes off, I put my stop in the green. Hopefully, it's just melting down. And I can just trail it. Where's my stop loss? It's going to be above this zone. It's a lot of room, but what I don't want to do is have it right here. You're just asking for it to tag out. Overnight, there's, as far as liquidity issues and all that, someone will come in and they'll buy up the whole order book, so you can have your stop right here, anywhere probably in this zone, probably going to tag out. So if there's ever a trade where it has a lot of room, and that's a lot of room for a NASDAQ contract, especially for everyone that's used to like scalping futures, probably losing their minds right now. Yeah, you're asking to tag out. And one of my stop losses, two of my stop losses just triggered on Owanda, 3 of them. So it looks like 4 of them just stopped out. I'm getting my alerts right now on my phone. Yeah, so that, again, I was right here, right above this. So 4 of my positions, there's 5, I think, total, maybe 6, just stopped out of my short. So I'll see what that's at in the morning. All right. As far as this goes, let's get this adjusted. Yeah, send this thing south. That was my alert to go short the S&P. Hasn't hit it yet, but I did buy SPY puts for over the weekend. And actually, what I originally bought was we'll get into the SPY over here. I'll show you. So right here, I bought the 511 puts, and I was hoping for that last like 15 minutes where you get that meltdown, and I was gonna lock them in. Just didn't get that. But you know, if they were to shoot up green like that, then I would have closed it. But for now, I do think we're just a tad bit overbought, looking for some kind of pullback. So there for Friday, hitting that zone doesn't concern me. If we got to hit that zone, then reject, kind of like back here, so be it. But that's kind of my play there. Ultimately, again, there's that giant bear flag pattern. This made it to about 5%. This is the 9% mark that I do think we're going to hit. I'm not sold on all-time highs just yet. So, yeah, Matt says, weird. Mine did too. If you're familiar with how I do things, It's not a call out service, but I do talk about my plays as they happen. And if you agree with them, there's a lot of people in my chat that agree with my plays. It's weird how our results are so similar. Last but not least, let's talk about Tesla real quick. Because someone asked me today, said, "Hey, I have 176 shares, and it's just sitting there." So I said, I'll at least explain how you could just make some weekly income off of that. Sell some calls because he wasn't sure what to do. I do need to adjust these lines. Now, what really sucks when people say, "Hey, I have this. What should I do?" One, answering that question. Because if it's wrong, man, no matter what I say in the future, you'll never listen to a word I have to say again. Also, I'm not your financial advisor. But what I do like to explain is how the markets work, how things can happen, what you can do. Tesla is my second biggest position. I think it's a very big AI play. Again, don't really care about the cars. They're cool, fantastic, and that's what they make money on. Sure, I want them to make a trillion of them, but not why I'm buying Tesla. Right now, it is basing out. So I got to say, did we, as far as this move up right here, we pulled back. That's nothing. Basing out, there's that game of tug of war where who's going to win? Is there more sellers or more buyers? That's ultimately going to make this thing break back up above or below. But if we just look at that and you have an average cost of 180, and you're thinking, I could sell Tesla. I could not. I don't know. We got an expected move. We'll call it $10. So it's 960. We'll call it 190 is the expected move. 68% chance we stay in there. 95% chance we stay inside of that $200 mark. So if I were to sell that, I would collect $39. Now that's what I call children's allowance. $39. And I have a 95% chance of keeping all of that. Not much, but what I'm usually selling is in the teens. I call it the teens. This could be 17, 16, 18, 19. If you've at least passed, I think they teach that in first grade. If you've made it past that, you should know what teen means. And I'm going to call it the high teens, above 15. So that's usually what I'm selling right there. Now that's $109. Now that says at the end of the week, if Tesla's above 192.50, I will sell you 100 of my shares for the strike price of 192.50. So to break that down, he's going to pay me $109 just to have that option. What he's hoping for is Tesla goes to $4,000 a share, and he gets to buy him at 192. Now you own him at 180, and you sold him at 192. So you got profit there plus his $109. And that contract, that deal you guys have, expires Friday. If Tesla is at 192.49 or less, you keep all his money. Now, come Wednesday, if Tesla stays right where it's at, that will be a lot cheaper. You can buy that contract. You can close that contract at any time. So that's $109. You do that 2 weeks in a row, now you got a free Tesla share. Now he's got, instead of 176 shares, 177 shares. And eventually that turns into 200 shares. And now we're talking about $218 a week, which is then a free share a week. And this might seem slow, but it's one of the biggest snowballs you could ever do in your account. And not understand. Now, I gave you guys enough to get in trouble with that. Anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about right here, understand that if there's something to Google, homework, figure out, it's the options price, how it can correlate to what you're doing. And again, on this channel, on all the channels, having 100 shares, I view that as an empty house. That is a vacant house. And now I want to get someone in there and collect rent. It's more like an Airbnb. I'm going to do 1 week at a time. I could go 2 weeks out. People have talked about that. I'll collect more. Now, that's 2 weeks worth of time. I'm letting somebody stay in there 2 weeks. Let's go to the teens again. Delta, now we're at a 19. It's the 197s, and I collect $158. If I do the 192, still, it's $251. But now I have 2 weeks for Elon to tweet something to happen, and really send that thing. So the reason why I don't want to give it a lot of time is I don't want to give people time to be right. I like to take their money and try it again. Because what am I going to do if it shoots up? So here's the 10th. Now I'm selling the 192.50s, and then Tesla expires this week, 191. Okay. Now I collected all his money, but next week is almost assured you're going to be above 192. So what I'll end up doing then is moving my strike price up to the 197s. I'll move it around. It gives me the freedom to move. So that's why I just don't like to give people a lot of time to be right and just take their money. VD, know how this work? I don't know about Zoom so far. I paid no directions how it works. Thank you. I'm going to assume English is not your first language. But I'm also going to figure out what you said, and we're going to make sure you have everything figured out. I promise. All right. So anyway, want to explain that this particular person actually happens to own Tesla at 180, so he's right there. But going forward with anything, kind of like I just broke down earlier, this is the options chain, by the way, and man, you need to understand that. But it's not as complicated as you guys think. Here's Palantir for earnings, right? It's $3.33. So that puts us at the $27 mark right here. Now I could sell this and collect $48 and sell somebody my shares at 27. If someone came up to you right now and said, "Hey, I will buy your shares at $27 per share right now," it's $23.33. That's how much it is. Would you take that deal? If the answer is yes, why not get paid to do it? It's like getting paid to enter and exit stocks. Most people are just doing it and paying commissions, or they're excited about a free commission. Now you can get paid to do it. Changes everything up quite a bit. Alex says he just needs to change the logo from Red Bull to Monster. Then he'll be in. Yes, Monsters is not sponsored because apparently they hate me, even though I do drive their profits. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up here. Midship group, don't go anywhere. You're going to see the Zoom link now. Everyone else, hang on. McLovin, you're asking for the NVIDIA's expected move. It's actually already there. I went over it if you rewind, but I will I'll update your little lines for you. All right. So NVIDIA, 930 to 843. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Good luck to everybody on Palantir earnings. Hopefully you kill it and do all the only ways that win and not lose. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys bright and early. Sorry. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. That's my mentorship stream. Anyway, do me a huge solid, guys. If you could hit the thumbs up and share it. I wouldn't mind it if somebody did subscribe. But you do you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.